Oh, you scared me there for a moment, but you're right on time. I'm your host, and today we're kicking things off with the first ever live progress update. This is where we'll keep you in the loop on everything that's been happening. What's new, what's improved, and what's coming next. Whenever you've been here from the start, or you're just tuning in, we've got some solid updates and we have a question from the server to answer. So let's get right into it. Let's see here. Our first and only question within the server at this time is by Ashura. What would make up for the lost origins? If you're referring to the players who evolved their race rather than those who chose a custom unique race such as Dreadnought, then my answer is this. Only players who were active regularly and invested the time to evolve their race will receive a small compensation. The amount will depend on how long it took them to evolve and how much playtime they put in it. This applies to the following individuals, Navarre and Ashura. For the complete unique races, such as Dreadnought, it was already cheaper in the short term to purchase a custom race. Because of that, those players will receive a smaller compensation than the two listed above. One final note, the longer you played this season, and the more accomplishments you earned, the greater your compensation will be. Simple as that. This only applies to the following individuals, Ashura, Not Me, Scav, JJ, Navarre, and Ivan. One last final clarification to avoid any misinterpretation. Compensation will be distributed in a ranked order. Those listed earlier will receive the highest compensation, while those listed later will receive progressively less. The order is as follows. Ashura, Not Me, Scav, Navarre, Rex, Ivan, JJ, and Glitch. This order is final and reflects overall activity, time invested, and accomplishments throughout the entire season. On to our main subject. What can you expect in this new season? I'll keep it short. There are 5 core parts to Season 2. First, the origins. Second, the world. Third, the rules. And fourth, the plugins and add-ons. And finally, the events. Starting with the origins, as you may have noticed from the logo and the Discord contents update, there are 5 areas separated by chains. At the center are the humans, to the left are the dwarves, to the right are the elves, and above are the beastkin, and below are the demon blight. Together, these make up 5 unique races that you'll be introduced to in Season 2. Our second core is the world, so follow me for a moment. Here's what the world looks like. Along with all the continents, I made sure everyone has plenty of space to build and explore, with the world spanning over 15,000 by 15,000 blocks. Starting off, the first continent is home to the elves, known as the Slyverial continent. To the right, we have the Veracun continent and Grashka Island, tied to the Beastkin, but their true birthplace is the Raverin continent. I know this might seem a bit unbalanced, but I'll explain why in just a moment. Next, we have the Valoria supercontinent, which belongs to the humans. Connected directly to it is the domain of Vorthos, home of the Demon Blight. And finally, down toward the left, we have the 2 continents of the dwarves, the Khazadrim continent and the Durkon continent. The reason each race is placed where they are is pretty simple. Every continent and even the domain has its own set of resources, both above and below ground. As for the Beastkin, having 3 land areas. That's because 2 of those regions aren't rich in resources, and their main continent is mostly desert, so the extra land is there to balance things out and give them plenty of space to actually thrive. But also, we have money! Gold, iron, and copper! I couldn't get the copper in here for some reason, but will be the main currency of the server. Yeah, you can figure out its worth, but yeah. Now, on to the rules. War and combat rules. All these rules I am listing you can overturn if nation leaders all gather together and consult with their citizens to overturn these rules. Now as following. No stealing from another player or nation if no one from that nation is online. Second, griefing outside of active wars is strictly prohibited and can result in the full reset of your progress. Third, no killing players outside your territory unless a war is officially declared. The only exception is an agreed duel between both parties. Fourth, only mage-born players may use wands, staffs, and spells. I'll get to that later on. Fifth, nations may not create fake nations to later annex them. Sixth, you cannot assist another nation in a war unless you are formally allied. Seventh, breaking a non-aggression pact, or NAP, requires a 2-hour cooldown before war can be declared. Eighth, new nations get a 3-day real-life grace period after creation. Ninth, all pacts, treaties, and player-signed contracts are enforced by server staff, which is me, currently. World and gameplay limits. No traveling to other dimensions. All resources are in the overworld to promote trade. So, yeah, I'm probably going to be disabling that anyways. Second, no flying machines. Third, villagers are not allowed, the only exception being villager soldiers. Fourth, unions are limited to a maximum of 2 other nations. I will explain that either in the second content update or when I post this. Nation limits. First, a single player nation starts with 50 by 50 border. Second, each additional member adds 5 by 5 to the border. NAP rules. 1. You cannot allow enemies to pass through your land to attack your ally. Second, you cannot declare war on your ally. Third, if you are in a union, your union also cannot attack your ally. Enforcement and conduct. Intentionally causing server lag will result in punishment. Second, all accusations must be backed with video or photo evidence. Pretty self-explanatory. Third, exploiting loopholes will result in a full reset. That means literally everything you have done. So don't try to figure out something you shouldn't figure out. Now, onto the fourth core. Plugins, add-ons, and mods. Everything has been fully tested and is compatible. Our main mods include Z Origins, Forsaken Odyssey, Dark Age Bazaar Remake, side mods, Human Companions, Roll and Stamina, Farmer's Delight, Sieged, Vita Carnis, add-ons, Connected Glass, Flicker, Dynamic Seasons, Rolls and Tags, Double Hands, Crowns, and Better Banners. That's a total of 16 combined mods. And finally, the last core, events. These events happen naturally in-game, and there will be more. It's just these are the only current ones. Harvest Season. Crops grow twice as fast for 3 in-game days. Wish upon a star. Looking at a star at night may grant basic resources. Mysterious Infection. There will be red specks there and there. I will not really tell you what happens after that. You're going to have to figure that out yourselves. On to the next. Bloodline event. On joining or picking your race, within 2 minutes, you have a chance to be born with special traits. You'll see it in chat. If you do not see it in chat, then you probably didn't get one. There's a 1 in 10 chance to become mageborn. You start with a wand and have 3 of the same spell. Next, there's a 1 in 50 chance for humans only you can become a giant. Strength 1 is applied and resistance 1. This is only temporarily. I have not put everything yet. But you also obtain hunger 1. Now this is for everyone. A 1 in 50 chance to be born gifted. You gain a random buff, which includes the following effects: strength, speed, haste, resistance, absorption, or feather fall. Those are all the effects you can get. Next, 1 in a 100 chance to become a matriarch. Major bonuses include starting money, special items, and larger nation borders. You can retry for a new bloodline every 300 minutes or 15 Minecraft days, though you must sadly notify a staff member to invoke the silly command. I do apologize. That's it. Nothing else to go over. Thank you all for tuning in and watching our very first live progress update. I'll see you in the next content update and hopefully with even more of you there.